Okay, let me just adjust it so you can see everything I'm gonna tell you about. Okay, let's go. It's 1790, and we are back in New York City. There's a warm summer evening, but the United States of America are not so united. The country is in chaos, and the Union is in danger. But there are three guys: Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison, who meet over dinner because that's where decisions are made, right? Don't get me wrong, they are not friends. They're semi enemies, but they need to decide on several things to protect the union. They're gonna discuss where to put the capital. Where would it be? How will we make the public credit the monetary system? They are there to make a deal. This event went down in history as a dinner table bargain of 1790, and it was a pivotal turn in American history. But what's more important and mysterious, to be honest, is that till today, we don't know what happened there. Historians don't know. Only those three guys know what happened. We know that they agreed on everything, on the capital's location, on the public credit. Everybody was happy. Everybody from this group got what they wanted, except for this guy. It's Aaron Burr. It's a lawyer, it's a semi friend of Hamilton. He worked hard, he helped Hamilton, and he was so not invited to the party. Very frustrating, right? But this event was dramatized in the best piece of art that American history gave us, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it was the Hamilton, the musical, that you can see on Broadway. And now I'm gonna tell you one disclaimer. I'm gonna put a lot of hermetic references to musical theater. So if you hate movies where somebody dances and sings out of the blue, I'm sorry. And if you are a musical nerd like me, well, you're welcome. So Aaron Burr sings the whole song about the room where it happens, where the sausage is made, where decisions are happening, but he got not invited. But why am I telling you all of this at a tech conference? Well, guys, because it's 2025, but I know Aaron Burr. I've been Aaron Burr. I know the feeling of working hard, pushing your limits, working after hours, doing absolutely your best expert job only to be not even mentioned on the frontal page or even on any page of the document, to work hardest and being like nothing, being unnoticeable. And if you ever felt that feeling of being left out at the corridor, doing your best, but then having no impact, no decision potential, I know you've been Aaron Burr as well. Maybe you hear that you need more impact, more visibility, this mythical thing. Maybe you hear you need more strategic actions, more strategic vibe, whatever that means, in your career. Or maybe you're a master in everything of those above. But there's a price that you're paying. You're great, you're visible, but you have to be a part of the corporate masquerade of this whole theater we are all in Allegro or in any job, really. Maybe politics are ruining your work life because you hate this. Maybe some games are not just for you. And well, I'm Hannah. I'm gonna need like 25 minutes, so less than an usual meeting amount of time for you to listen to my really very subjective story of how I built my career moves so you can get the recognition you deserve. But please take notes. I'm not a career coach. I'm going to tell you in a reverse engineering way what worked for me. And I hope this helps you. Okay, but we're gonna do this without paying the authenticity tax that we are sometimes paying if we get caught up in the whole corporate games on the way. One more disclaimer. So, if you really want to be impactful and climb the ladder and, I don't know, get promoted, you have to be an expert first. I'm sorry. Like, competencies really come first. I didn't invent this, but this is like the fastest way to forward your career to be like really good and what you did. And Hamilton didn't just, didn't win sorry the seat and the table because he was famous or something. No, he was working nonstop. Yes, that's a song of him working nonstop as well. He wrote many essays to proclaim his ideas before even Jefferson knew about his existence. So I'm not here to tell you how to do your job, but if this area is something you might want to explore, I might recommend you Cole Newport and his book Be So Good They Can't Ignore You. But please be the best, work on your competencies, and whatever falls next, I'm going to help you with that. So once I've heard this quote at a funeral, which is very weird, to be honest, but Seneca said that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And today we're going to focus on preparation. So you will be ready when the opportunity comes, okay? And what worked for me is establishing something like a compass. So it's not a smart goal, a stupid goal, or whatsoever. It's something that helps me when opportunity appears on my way, when I have a choice, when someone asks me, hey, Hanya, would you be able to help me in X? So I use it, and I'm going to tell you how to build your own personalized compass so you can become more intentional, more purposeful in your actions. And it has 3 components. Okay, let's go. The first step is what you're good at. You have to find something that you are really an expert. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a researcher, so I'm an expert in doing research, because that's what every researcher does or every PM does. You can look for skills, any specific thing you know how to do, any competency you have. The talent may be Gallup talent, or just, I don't know, I have a talent for storytelling, so that's my career capital. The knowledge you have gathered, any awards, certificates, so everything you did in your past, um, all the people you know, all the places you go. And please think big here. Maybe you know someone from high school that might help you in a specific task in your daily job. So think about everything. If your mind is blank at this point, go to your friends, go to your teammates, go ask your manager, hey, like, what I'm best at. If you have to choose, like, what am I good at? Okay, and list them. It's very important to put them on paper so they become real. And in my case, it is qualitative research. I like doing. I'm good at workshops and just navigating the social mechanism. I used to work in a retail startup. I'm a psychologist. I used to be a therapist. I was doing a tourism and with agile coaches. So this is my career capital as well. But I'm also an improviser, a polyglot, and so on and so on. So everything I've gathered till today when I'm here. And I know if you have this list of the great things you are, there is this little advice, oh, but I really don't have this and that to be promoted. And yes, sometimes you have a list of things that you lack to get promoted, to be visible. So you might need a little list of that as well, but please do yourself a favor and focus on the good part, because this will never fail you, okay? And now we're gonna look past that and move to the things you love doing in life, in general. And I'm gonna present another more modern, let's say, philosopher, of our times with this very smart quote. So we're going to find what you love doing and start doing it. As simple as that. And for me, it's teamwork. I love working with people. It's facilitation. I like navigate the conversation. I like structure. I like meetings that make sense. I like building agendas. But I also like having fun at work. And I love when people are laughing and not only working. I think you can have both, right? I like being on stage. I like to perform. I like musicals. I like dogs and so on and so on. The list is very long, but it is just to give you the example to grasp the idea of things that you can think of. And if you have something you're very good at and something you love, these two combined build your unfair advantage. And it can be very unfair, and you can be very proud about this. So for me, one thing is that I'm a data person. Another unfair advantage to me is that I'm a people person. Like, people like me instantly. Not all people, of course, but a good amount of people. So it's my asset, right? To build rapport and foundation of trust when I work with someone. I also think proudly of myself as a good public speaker. So I can do it without much trauma, right? And this is how you're gonna use it now. So you have to translate those labels, your unfair advantages, to your favor. So, for example, my label is a data person, a research manager. Okay, so how I'm gonna translate this? I want someone when they meet me to think, oh, she's a source of data. If I lack data, I can write to Hanya on Slack. So this is one of the label. Another thing is that, oh, she used to be a therapist. She listens to me. She understands without judgment. So I can assume that our cooperation will be smooth, or I can be vulnerable in front of her because chances are she'll be okay with that and she's not gonna, I don't know, make fun of me. Another thing I want people to think about me is that I'm a good improviser. So they say we can send her to any stage without much preparation and she'll be fine. She'll manage, right? So think about the things you are, because you already are all those things that are unfair, but these are your assets and you can use them to label yourself before anyone else label you, because people have labels. um, they know something about your role before they meet you. They know something about, I don't know, managers before they meet you. And the clue is to give them the label that they might use later in the future. So you will be on top of their mind, okay? Going next. When you look deep down and manage to have all the list and your assets, now we're gonna look further. Go outside and look for what is needed outside, in their organization, in Allegro, in your team, anywhere else, but this is not about you at all. This is about the zeitgeist you're in, the situation you're in. So, for example, you can find a problem that makes your job or someone else's job a misery. You can fix a problem. Um, you can find the missing piece. But to be honest, please, if you are looking for those, find something big enough to be relevant to let's say a reasonable amount of people, number of people, but not too big. So you're not gonna go and, hey, I'm gonna change the meta problem of Allegro in the next few months, because it's very frustrating and you're gonna get overwhelmed, and who wants that, right? So look who you are, what is your advantage, and then, okay, where is it needed? Where can I go? Okay, so look for a problem that is relevant because someone needs to care for your solution, and then find a way how to solve this, because no one will tell you, oh no, I don't want you to solve my problems, right? Look for the opportunity, and later make a habit out of asking yourself, how can I help? How can I use what I have? Okay. Oh, you're telling me about this problem. Do I have something? And if I don't, another habit is that I surely know someone who knows something who can help. So I never leave my stakeholders or my teammates with just, sorry, I don't know, it's out of my scope. It's not in my job position description, right? Like, sorry, I can't help. No, you can always help. You can pass the info. You can look around. You can ask. So listen and be careful about your purpose and the opportunities that arrive. Mhm. And it can be a process optimization, some analysis that no one had time to do, a KPI that is really on the ground, but you know how to fix it. Sometimes it's just money issue, and you know, oh, there's the we could save some money. Sometimes it's the talent management thing. You can help with mentoring. So really look at the soft things and soft skills. Maybe there's a cooperation fix that you see on anything that might be relevant, impactful enough, and true to you. So it won't be a nightmare, okay? For me, what I found the most lovely thing is that I love people drama. And wait for it. I love cooperation problems. So people ask me, okay, Hania, can you make a retrospective meeting for us? Can we don't know how to cooperate in our team? Can you come and I don't know analyze our situation? Can you help me with that? With contracting? Um, I also love all the gray areas of ownerships, and I'm sure you know which gray areas there are. It's not mine thing, it's not the PM's job, maybe it's designers, but someone has to take the ownership and make it happen. Okay, I also like to tweak the workflows, optimize some procedures, and I like to raise KPIs with the data that me and my team provides. So these are just examples, but find your own. I'm sure they're different and as awesome as those. Another thing, the fastest way to find the thing that is needed is to ask your manager. And truly, managers are not, we are not used to hear this thing because normally it's us who are, hey, how can I help? What's your problem? How can I be of assistance, right? But you can make a good practice of asking your manager or even I don't know, the director, the CEO, what's your problem right now? And please think big because sometimes you might have the solution. So you have those three, and that's the compass, okay? When you do the good job, it's gonna be true to you and it's gonna be so much easier because choices are easier. You know which task to say yes to and which task say, nah, I'll skip this, sorry, look for anyone else. Then it causes less frustration because mostly you're doing things you're good at, you love doing, and they are needed. Okay? So it's a true fulfilling job to do. And it's also like the best anti-burnout policy because your effort will be better spent later. I know all of these things are like very methodical, how to build, how to cooperate with the choices you have, but being self-aware is not enough. And now I'm gonna present you with another philosopher, aka my own grandma, which I love very much. But my grandma uses to say, be in the corner and they will find you. Moment of silence now, because I love my grandma, but this is not true, okay? This organization has like some thousand I cannot keep track how many people we have, so they will not find you, okay? You have to be found. So you have to let them know what's your compass, what you're good at, what you love, and how can you help, okay? And there are two ways to do that. There's the hard way, which I'm doing right now, being exposed, present your ideas, get on stage, present anything, but it doesn't have to be the ATM show. It can be a demo meeting, a status meeting, anything that works in your area. And there's also an easier way, and I'm gonna tell you what's the easier way. There's a meeting, right? Lots of people. And you can really help yourself, trust me, by literally showing your face. And I mean turning your Zoom camera on. And I know sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you don't feel like people are looking at you all day. There's something called Zoom fatigue, and I get it, really. But studies show that there is something like mere exposure effect. And if you're not a psychologist, I'm gonna very briefly explain it to you that it says that the more you see me, the more you like me. That's the same thing with those songs that you hate those summer songs, but if they played on repeat in the, I don't know, in the radio, in the news, you're gonna start liking that song. And sometimes it works for people, and studies suggest that the more you see the person and their face, so even on Zoom it can work, the more they're gonna like you, or at least you will be familiar. And that's a good start in this big organization. Like, I know this face, like, okay, let's work together. So this is very easy, right? Another thing, quite easy as well, is to introduce yourself. And I know it's like on Zoom calls, you're like, "Hey, I'm Hannah. I just started this project. I'm very, I don't know, happy to be here. Thank you." But sometimes we forget about it. So do it when you cooperate with anyone new, and when you're the new one. So it doesn't matter if you know all the designers and there's a new one, because a new designer has her or his own perspective on doing things. And you can have it in, it's like, sorry, you can have it in a non-cringy way, because I know that for some people it's very difficult to get noticed. And for example, if there's a status meeting or any meeting, to be honest, in a project, in your task force, um, mm, you can reserve time in the agenda. That's very important. Don't save it for the last minute when everyone is like saying bye bye. Prepared a short info about yourself and make it very concise using your compass. Later, you can do it on Slack. You can reach out, ask a question. Like after a presentation, you can say, "Hey, I'm just reaching out. That's very interesting what you just said and shared at the meeting. I think I have a data that might support your ideas. So give something, provide input, or you can ask for more, because trust me, people love to help other people. So if you ask for, I don't know, a deep dive, a short call, you will stick in their memory, and you also will learn something and build a connection. Share the ideas, speak up. You can also have a one-on-one Zoom coffee. So if you're gonna work with someone, establish a new cooperation, make this move and invite someone. I know sometimes it's scary, but if you prepare yourself, your goals, your methodology, your ways of working, and you will ask about somebody, you will really listen about their goals, their challenges, and take notes. That's very important, because later you will need them to personalize your approach to the person. I think all of this will make you feel noticed, be noticed, but also it presents you as a person who takes responsibility, takes ownership of the relationships at work, who is professional, because you want to establish the rules, you want to get to know each other, and let be known. So others will surely appreciate this step, and it will save you some time later when you go. For example, I do a special presentation to tell somebody about UX researcher role, about my role, how I see it, how I perceive it, how we operate, what we do, what we don't do, which is very important, just to clear all the assumptions and the agenda somebody might have before knowing you, because they used to work with researchers, or they think, okay, I used to work with PMs, so I know how PMs operate, right? No, teach people how you want to be treated, what you do, what's your process, when they can get involved, what you need from them, to operate smoothly, and how can you help? And also make a slow Q&A session. Later, I do a follow-up. I send this info to someone so I can really refresh the memory later. Another thing is, do you want to be heard? Because you're not my grandma and you will not be sitting in the corner, okay? So if you remember this, there are several ways, not cringy ways, to be heard. For example, come prepared, really. It takes zero talent. You come prepared, you do the pre work, you talk to somebody, you look for data, you have something to say at this meeting, and you are not here because someone added you as an optional. You are here at the meeting to give valuable impact and input, both, to be honest. So come prepared. Speak up. Ask a meaningful question. Ask the question everybody's asking in their minds, but no one's brave enough to do so. Ask for an opinion. People love having opinion and saying an opinion, right? So you can do that. Very safe. You can tell, okay, from my perspective, what I've heard from my experience, look for the things you're good at. From my career capital, I can say that, la 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 la. Offer support. And sometimes you can joke, but be very careful about this one. Trust me, I've learned the hard way. So these are easy ways to be heard at the meeting. Mhm. And the next thing you can prepare in upfront is the Sinatra effect. What's that? Sinatra used to sing, if I can make it there, I'm gonna make it anywhere, it's up to you. You know the song. And my Sinatra effect is a story, a short story, a true story from your life, from your career capital, that shows the label, the thing, your unfair advantage about you that's gonna stick in people's mind. So, for example, my Sinatra effect story is that I used to live in Mexico when I was really young. I use this story out of a habit now, so it's not very manipulative, to be honest. When I want to show that I'm brave, that I'm courageous, or sometimes I would use a story that I know how to operate in an agile environment because I used to work in a startup. So I'm okay with changing decisions. So let's look for your Sinatra effect and put it somewhere in the conversation when it's applicable. We don't want to be bragging all the time. Hey, I used to be, a very special person sometimes. No, it has to be true. It has to be something you're proud of and connected to your job in any way, okay? And later, you're gonna get instant feedback. Don't wait. You give instant feedback, you get instant feedback. And this one is very precious for your career moves. Don't wait till end year review, please. When everybody gets like 1,500 feedback forms in December, at the end of the year, they will not remember the greatest job you did on the project. So get it just after the project is done, just minutes after the presentation, just after the meeting is done, after you provided some document, presentation, whatever you do, code, and later give context of your inquiry. Like, don't ask, hey, please give me feedback. Like, no, be purposeful. It's better to say, hey, I've been really looking forward to your perspective on how am I doing on learning how to structure a meeting, or I really am trying to be more assertive in my work life. Can you tell me how am I doing, please? And this gives people the idea that you're a professional who likes to get feedback, who will be good. Okay. And you're going to put all of them in a show folder. So print screen everything, every good thing you're going to have. For me, it looks like this. I don't have a folder. I just have my own, my conversation with myself on Slack. I just print screen and have all of the nice things people have said about my I don't know, about my work, all the bad things as well, because I want to change. And it's good for the bad days when you feel like an imposter, for example, and it's also very good for self-assessment during the end year review. So keep that in mind for later. So now you have the compass, you spread the word, you have a track record, you've done all your homework. When you get skin in the game, you stay in the game. But you don't get a win unless you play in the game. Yes, you have to play the game, right? No. I used to think that this is 9 to 5 me, and later, after hours, this is me. And those two Hanyas can never meet in a workplace, right? Because 9 to 5 me is a professional who likes research and all of the work things. And after hours me is someone who likes to have fun and likes to sing and so on. No, it's not true. You have to bring your whole true self to the workplace to be truthful to you and to other people. You don't want to pay the authenticity tax. And what worked best for me was practicing vulnerability and bravery. And I think this is not new news to you, but Brene Brown helped me a lot in this. You have a TED Talk, you have Netflix special, you have many, many books to work on that, which I recommend. So look for the ways to open yourself and be prepared for that. Another thing is to appear authentically on the arena. Go there. If you don't have all the skills, tell people you don't have all the skills, but you want to do this task anyway, okay? I think we should normalize saying, I don't know if you don't know, but I will find out because I want this task, because it's on my compass, and I really want to use this opportunity to show you that I'm deserving this recognition and this promotion. Another thing, build real connections. Connections and being purposeful will go and set you higher in people's memory. And if you do all of that, I really hope once you get in the room where it happens, you will not throw away your shot. Thank you for listening. And that's all, folks. I'm open to any questions now.